This is the download of the data, and it's combined data with the heated tipping bucket rain gauge and the passive precipitation gauge. The heated tipping bucket rain gauge is an 8-inch Texas Electronics with that is AC powered, and that particular gauge was installed back here around December 4th or so, and later on during the winter, after a few of the snowstorms there, the precipitation gauge was installed at this point, and this is the overlay of the data that was recorded from the precipitation gauge. The graph down below here, this blue line here indicates the temperatures that were recorded during the installation of the heated rain gauge and also the combined operation of the two gauges, the heated gauge and the passive precipitation gauge. Now we're going to zoom in and take a look at the data from the two gauges as they're combined, and we can see here that the data tracks relatively well between the two gauges. This went through several different storm periods, and this data here starts, the red line there starts in with the data around January 13th to 14th, and then the data tracks through up to the end of the download here around January 25th or so. So this is the overlay combined data to show the tracking between the heated rain gauge and the passive precipitation gauge. The heated rain gauge is the 8-inch Texas Electronics gauge, and the passive precip gauge is a 6-inch gauge equipped with a high precision water level sensor in it that has a range of about 30 centimeters, and we can see here from the stability here that it's got quite good thermal stability over the temperature range that we were operating there. And also there were special provisions made on this gauge to make compensation for wind pumping on the gauge. So the gauge automatically filters out all the effects of wind, which creates a vacuum over top of the gauge as it's being exposed to the wind, and the back vent on the pressure probe is vented into the top of the gauge to compensate and equalize the pressure on the surface of the fluid in the gauge and the back pressure on the vent.